fight. Maybe you won't know any fight. Maybe you won't. So cut up. Bring me tonight. If I lie, maybe you won't know. And if I die, maybe you won't go. So cut up.
Hey, welcome to the talk. D.P.M Javi, how you doing today, man?
Good, bro. Thank you for having me, bro.
It's my pleasure. So, what was that we were just listening to, man?
That was You Won't Go, and that's off my last project I released in December called Bury Me in the Rave. 9 tracks, all produced by me, written, recorded, mixed, mastered by me. And yeah, it's kind of my first step into this like world of electronic music. You feel me? Like I've been making music since like early high school, like over 8 years and shit. And like, just recently, like when I lived in London this past year, I got super inspired by the house movement over there, bro. And I just was going to all the shows, like falling in love with every side of it, like feel me, the hard tech, the alternative house, like big room house, like everything. I was at shows every weekend, and I just fell in love with the genre, bro. So much so that like I made a whole switch with my whole musical career, and like I'm fully invested in electronic music now. And that album and that song is my first sort of step into that world, you feel me?
Yeah, bro, there's a lot to take away from what you just said. Okay, so you spent some time in London. You made a genre switch, you know, before we get, and because I want to hear about your London story.
Yeah, for sure.
What genre did you start out with? Like, why was the switch so drastic? And what influenced that switch?
Yeah, for sure. So if you hear my second to last album, Dreams Caused by Fear, that's a much more like indie rock pop vibe. And like before that, I was more just on rap. But I really was in that indie rock pop realm for like a long period of time. And like the big thing with my music is like, despite the change in the genre and everything, like it's always had the same motive of being music to heal hurt people, to provide closure to people through my personalness and me disclosing all these things about myself. And yeah, that's kind of always been like the cohesive theme throughout the genre switches. But like back then, that's really more what I was on, singer-songwriter, indie rock, pop, like sort of a Steve Lacy sort of vibe type shit.
Right.
And yeah, that was great too, but I'm just so happy with where I'm at in music now and so obsessed with this. You know?
Would you define yourself more as a DJ than more so as a singer-songwriter in your current era of an artist?
It's interesting because like I never closed that door. You feel me? Like right now, like people would probably like hear D.P.M Javi be like DJ just because like that's what I've been doing the most and like how people see me the most and shit. But like I'm always still in my pad. I'm even writing for other artists a lot. I'm managing R&B rapper out of the East Coast named Drip, and like I do a lot of work with him and do a lot of writing for him and stuff.
Management as well.
Yeah, I'm a manager, and I also have an independent A&R company called On Pulse Repertoires, and it's centered around the electronic dance music space. So,
dude, you kind of sound like you have your hands full. You're like a jack of all trades with this sort of craft. How do you manage that time?
Shit, bro, it's just all work for me, bro. Like literally, like.
You see it as a job?
Yeah, for real. Like, yeah, like I see like, you know, we're around like this sort of college vibes and shit. Like you see kids go out every single night damn near. It's like, oh, it's Taco Tuesday, now it's Wine Wednesday, now it's Thursday, Friday.
There's a theme for every day, bro.
And it's like, it's love. Like I used to be on that when I was like a freshman for sure, I can't lie. But like I've definitely switched into a different lane in the past few years to where like I'll maybe not go out at all, like for weeks on end.
How do you feel like your career or life has changed since you made that decision to not be so a part of that culture?
Bro, so much. Like, so I've gotten so much more done, like spread my connections so much further. Like, it's just like, how much time are you really investing in the thing that you say is what you do? You feel me? And like a lot of people can't say that it's even 50% of the time or 60. It's like, you're doing all these other things, and I get like doing shit to inspire the art, like that is a big part of it, but like it gets to a certain point where it's like, bro, do you really want this to be your life and your career? You feel me? And like I had to tell myself that and like really lock in on what I'm doing. Like On Pulse Repertoires is kind of a fresh thing, honestly. We're on our 3rd newsletter coming out April 15th. But it's been really great. I'm really building rapport with these different artists who I admire so much. We did our last one on PJ Statham, this kid out of Yorkshire in England, and he's a UKG artist. I think he's going to be the face of UKG within like 5 years.
Wow.
For sure.
I mean, that's a pretty large statement to make. What makes you so sure of that?
It makes me sure because like the current face of UKG, Sammy Vrij, follows him, plays his shit in a lot of his sets. His song Fake ID reached 500K on SoundCloud in the past year. Mm-hmm. He's just been doing his rounds. He's doing another show in Edinburgh. He just did one couple months ago in Edinburgh. He's been in Bristol. He's been in London. He's been making his rounds, bro, and it's just been like consistent ascent. And the level of his production is just like unmatched by anyone I've seen in UKG right now. Like I'm a huge fan of what he does. But yeah, he's great. And before that, we did a newsletter on CJ, this hard tech DJ based out of Philly, who just started on his first 5-leg European tour last month. And the big thing about OPR is like we're putting out artists. Like I pretty much have a mailing list with contacts I've made through South by Southwest, different music meetings, Grammy U, so it's members of the Recording Academy, A&Rs, venue managers, producers. Do
you feel like Loyola helped you a lot with those plugs?
100%. Like, bro, the South by Southwest trip, bro, we went on was like massive as far as like my A&R stuff I'm doing, because like it's one thing, like, first of all, you apply to this shit. If Loyola chooses you, then they pay for your badge, which is huge, bro. It's like
what's that, a badge?
So you get like to be able to like be in Southwest and like go to the concerts and go to the meetings where you get to like meet all these industry folks and go to the panels, like see Just Blaze speak, see the head A&R at United Masters at RCA give talks and stuff. In order to get access to all that, you need to purchase a music badge, and to get that, it costs like over a band type thing just for that. And Loyola sponsored that. So that was huge, if nothing else. But the other thing is that we went with Jonathan McHugh and Tim Capel. Right. And they really like are part of the industry. Like McHugh's done music supervision on tons and tons of films. Capel is like a huge music lawyer, you know.
Yeah,
so, like,
he's actually my legal professor.
In fact, he's my advisor too. He's a cool guy. Yeah, for sure. And when they took us there, it wasn't like they were like, all right, we got you the badge, like go on about your shit like that. Nah, they took us to the Grammy block party, like introduced us to so many people. Like I have countless contacts on my newsletter, people I'm still in contact with today, and it was all because they were like, yo, have you met my student Javi? Like he's trying to do this thing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you could meet these people on your own and stuff, but it's like having that like facilitator and that person to, feel me, like come in and be like, yo, this dude is cool, and like kind of vouch for you in that way. Like that shit was really big for me, really huge. So I really appreciated them for that. And any Loyola kid who like is considering the South by trip at all, like I would recommend that shit like 10 times over. That shit like definitely changed the shape of my career as far as what I'm doing with the A&R stuff for 100%.
So yeah, you definitely got a lot going on for yourself. Do you feel like a lot of Loyola kids, they don't know how plugged in the professors are and they're just not utilizing it? Do you think the majority of the kids are like that here?
I do, bro. And I think I was like that before too. I think it's easy to kind of like get in your own ways, and like we're a music school, like majority of kids are coming here to like rap or to like produce and shit, and it's like people come with like an inflated ego, and like maybe at their high school like they was like the only one rapping and like the only one doing this shit, and it's like they're just kind of like I'm in my space, my mode, and like they kind of put on the blinders as far as like all the people who are here who can help you and shit like that. And like when I really took time to try and connect with the faculty, like especially this year, like which is my senior year, so it's kind of crazy I waited till now, but it's been great, and like you can really learn so much from them, and they can really help you in so many different ways. Like it's been awesome coming from.
Wow, so there's like a lot to take away from that. So you're in your final year here?
Yeah. Am I correct about that? It's weird because like people see me a lot now, and they'd be like, bro, you're a senior? Like, I swear I never seen you before. And it's like my freshman year, I was like with a close group of friends type shit, and we didn't really hang out with like any other people. They were kind of a closed off group type thing. Yeah. Then I started dating this girl, and it was kind of not the best, a little bit toxic, kind of was just like only around her all the time. And then I went to London, so I was like definitely out the way. And then I came back this year, and this is the year when I've started to really like be doing a ton of shows in front of people and like going to different events and school events and like getting to know people at the school and stuff, you feel me? And yeah, like now people are like seeing me a lot and they're like, bro, like I just heard your music, like where you been, da 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 da. But it's like I've been here for a minute, but like I just haven't really been open to people and showing people what I do until this year, really, type shit. I never did a show before this year out here and stuff. So
how does that recognition make you feel?
it's dope, bro. Like it's cool. Like last weekend was phenomenal, bro. I did a show with Alpha Sigma Sigma. Shout out.
Yeah, the one with the, was it Ty Johnson?
Yeah, Ty Johnson.
The pool party, the Miami one.
Yeah, that shit was lit. It was me, Ty, Sleepy DJ'd also. You know Casey? Sleepy,
Yes.
Yeah, he's very tough as well. And then this kid Zev DJ'd. But the setting was just like, for me, bro, like it's all about the audience. Like I could really give a fuck about the pay a lot of the time and shit. Like I just want to perform for the right people, bro. Because sometimes I'll be getting paid, bro, and like these motherfuckers will put me in a lineup at like Carrollton Station between like 4 other bands and shit. And like old dude walks in the bar and he's like from New Orleans. He's used to seeing like brass bands and shit. And then he sees a kid on like an electronic CDJ and he's like taken aback and shit. Like, what is this? Like, da 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 da. And it's like, no matter how good I do the set, like certain people like aren't going to be able to connect with that.
They're set to judge on you because they're not used to it.
100%.
And it's, I mean, DJ really isn't a part of the New Orleans culture, you know, in a traditional sense. But do you feel like...
Well, let me say one thing on that too before you go off that. Like New Orleans like does have a DJ community out here. And I'm talking about like outside the school because like also... mad people just get caught into this like ecosphere of like New Orleans is just like the uptown block between like Tulane and Loyola, and it's not at all.
Absolutely.
You feel me? Like the moment you get a whip and can actually go to like the Bywater and like actually be downtown and actually like go to Rabbit Hole and Poor Boys and like understand the city, you see it in a totally different way. But there is a DJ community out here, but being as it's such a small city, like that shit is very like, if you're not one of us, like it's gonna be hard for you to get in type shit. Like they're very, if you're in New York City, bro, if you're in London, bro, and you're dope, people want to see you. There's mad opportunity. Like no one's like, oh, if he's performing tonight, then I can't. Or I like, since there's so few spots out here, like people do get like feel a certain way about like you need to pay a certain respect to them, or like they, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And that's why I'm excited to move out to Brooklyn in June too, and be around like the right audience, the right people who will really be there for the shows and really appreciate it and be open, and like there'd be so much more opportunity, you feel me? Because like, yeah, like there is like a community for DJs out here, but it's closed off, bro. Like it's hard to get inside of that shit. But yeah.
How would you define success in the underground DJ scene?
In New Orleans or in general?
In general, I'd say.
Shoot, I mean, shit, that you getting like the best DJs in the world perform like over 300 times in a year, you feel me? So like that's the goal. Like every night have a big set, you feel me? Like just be consistent with it, and like that's how you could really make this shit into a living, because like you need to have that bread coming in like every time, you feel me? Like a lot of like DJs are like DJs for a day and then, feel me, they take off like a couple weeks and blah 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 blah. Like I'm trying to have this shit be like my life. Like I wake up, show, daytime, nighttime show, daytime show, like just keep it going and have that ball rolling like nonstop. And like also like this year I did more performances than I've ever done in my life, and I've garnered more fans than I ever have in my life, because that is how you connect with people. Like at least from my personal experience, like I know a lot of motherfuckers be on like Instagram with like the like promotion bots and all that shit, and that shit cool, but like for me, like when I'm in real life, like in front of a person and they're on my decks and they're like feeling the music and like I'm giving that shit to them, like there's nothing that beats that connection. And those are always the people that are coming back to the shows, texting me, liking my shit, supporting the music. And like, yeah, that's big for me. I just want to do more and more and more shows, you feel me, and just make those real life connections with people, you know what I'm saying?
Would you, real life connections with people, is that the most important part of the music that you're making?
Yeah, it's that, and it's about, like I said before, like providing closure for people. Like my last two albums, like my first song I ever put out, like Time Was Up, like Dreams Caused by Fear, Bury Me in the Rave, like all the shit is about like, feel me, feelings, like deep feelings that like maybe people don't always want to talk about and shit, but it's like for a lot of people hearing that shit is so helpful and so refreshing because it lets people know that they're not alone in the way that they're feeling and stuff. Like my biggest idols are X and Amy Winehouse and Fred again, and they're all about that, you feel me? Just like divulging that shit that's inside of them so that people can feel safe in their music. And like that's really my goal. Like if you go on my website, the first thing you're gonna see is music for healing, because like that's what it's for, and that's what I try and do type shit. Like I want my shows, like a lot of people ask me what my main genre is in house, and like the show I'm doing on Sunday with y'all, like it's really gonna show that. And like that show I did, feel me, last weekend, that was more like turn pool party vibes.
Yeah.
I did more like minimalist house techno shit,
Right.
like real Miami vibes and shit.
Playing
But,
to that. I
yeah.
get you.
But like this show, like when I'm really doing my shit, like it's really about just like healing music that's just like good for the soul, and it's just like that shit I'm saying that people can just find comfort in, and just kind of like damn near you hear this shit, you damn near want to cry and stuff, but it's like beautiful, you know what I'm saying? Like I live for that. Like I was at this Fred Again show in 3 Points in Miami this past fall, and that's exactly what I want to do in music. Just like the people weren't too like turning shit, people were just there like just happy and just feeling like good and feeling safe, and like that's what I want to do with my sets and my music and all that, you feel me?
So you do mention traveling a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you've discussed London and not just now Miami. What are the reasons for these leaves, and how do you think you've utilized those leaves to better yourself as an artist, and what you got out of those
Yeah, for sure.
vacations, you could say?
So London wasn't as much of a vacation as like I did a full year abroad out there. So like as I said, I was in that relationship that wasn't the best.
Yeah.
I left. Shit went bad. Like literally, like she didn't want me to go at all. Right? She was like, "Nah, like this is gonna fuck everything up. Don't go." Blah blah blah. You could only do 6 months. You can't do a year, because I really wanted to do a year. And then I was like, all right, boom, I'm gonna do 6 months. So like I cut really what I had wanted to do my whole life with like a year abroad into 6 months. And then that whole time, bro, you know, like them people in them long distance relationships, and it's like you're around people, but you're not even around people. Like you're in your phone,
Right.
stressing, like trying to call, trying to fake, like all this shit. It was
Trying to
just-
make that time, you know?
Yeah, and it was just like like what are you
Yeah.
doing here? Who are you with? Blah 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 blah. All this shit, and it was just so bad. And I just left it, and like I left it like maybe 1 week when I got to London, like damn near 2-year relationship. You know what I'm saying? So like.
So 1 week in, you were just done?
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
And I didn't know anybody out there, mind you. I'm living in a student accommodation, small as fuck. Like, I put my arms out, I'm touching the walls, like, small-ass little room, bro. I don't know anybody there. It's London. It's, like, dark all the time, you feel me? And, like...
How are the people there?
The people are dope, but, like, when I first got there, I wasn't talking or, like, interacting with anybody, bro. I was
Right.
depressed as fuck. Like, and that's really where Dreams Caused by Fear, a lot of it came from, and where Bury Me in the Rave came from. But it's just like, bro, like for a while there, I was down bad. Like I was in my room, I wasn't eating, bro, like for days on end. Like I was just like fucked up, down bad, like didn't have anybody. And it's like you go to call your boy 7-hour difference, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like he's not about to pick that shit up. Like he's asleep. It's 4 a.m. where he's at, you know what I'm saying?
So essentially you felt like you had no one.
I felt like I had no, like I was really, like really, really, really alone. Like all I had was my pen and my pad and my music, bro. And like so much just like pure raw emotion came out of that and shit. And it was horrible, bro. But when I found the other side of that shit, like I felt literally unstoppable. Like if I show you a picture of what I looked like before I went to London, bro,
Right.
you'll be like, who the fuck is that guy? It looked nothing. Like I transformed as a person, bro.
What year were you in?
I was a junior in
Okay,
college.
so this was not long ago.
No,
at all, really.
literally like last year, bro. Yeah, like the switch from like the end of my sophomore year to my senior year is insane, bro. But yeah, like when I came out on the other side of that, bro, I started going around my student account, like meeting different people and stuff. I met this dope Spanish girl, Pauli, who's one of my best friends still. And she put me onto this whole rave culture, started taking me out to these hard techno shows with my boy Simon, shout out, Donoso, shout out, Oksana, shout out. But yeah, they put me on this whole beautiful vibe of like electronic music out there. And I always loved electronic music, but like out here, bro, like now it's a lot more than it was before, but for a long period of time, bro, like people looked at like EDM like, oh, Skrillex, like that shit corny, like da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Like people were only on rap out here and stuff, and like I was listening to what my boys were listening to and shit. I'm not about to like throw some fucking bass nectar on the shit.
Yeah,
They're about to be
absolutely.
like, what do you you feel me? But out there it was like a community of people who like truly appreciated that and like lived for that shit every weekend. Headliner DJs, like incredible unmatched vibes. Like I think about London every day. But yeah, bro, like it was just so free and so much art and so much music and such a great community of people out there. Like I love in all the British dudes I met, I love that culture out there, like the man them, you feel me?
Yeah.
And like they get so turned, they have great energy. And
What
it's
did
like,
you learn from there?
bro, I learned like what I'm really made of and shit, to be honest, bro, because I was at that low point, you feel me? And I had to just
Yeah.
like really get out of that shit and like change my life. I started going to the gym every single day, bro, like fucking shave my head. I had like long hair before and shit, you feel me? And just like just leveled up in like every department type shit, and it just like showed me that literally like nothing can break me down type shit. Like after getting out of that shit, like I'll never feel like I can't do anything in my life type shit.
How would you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was gonna ask, how would you describe the process of really pulling yourself out of those slumps? Just like aside from the gym, like was it just your music? Like how long did it take?
The music definitely helps, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like I tried therapy like a couple times and that
Yeah.
shit just wasn't for me, honestly. And my dad's a therapist too, and he'd be like, "Oh, you should try it," and I'd go and I would just hate that shit.
Right.
But like when I'm able to just like, if you just sit with them thoughts and let that shit just simmer inside of you, like that shit will kill you. But like if you have a way of venting and letting that shit out, like going onto a microphone, like writing that shit down, like really pouring out that shit, like it helps OD. And like really also, I watched the Amy Winehouse documentary.
Yeah.
And that's something that helped me a ton too. That whole documentary is just about how Amy's music reflected the pain she was feeling and how all these songs were just like a reflection of these relationships and this hurt, and it just like was a way for her to just like breathe type shit and help so many people. By her, she wasn't trying to help people, she was trying to just like
Help herself.
exactly, bro, exactly, that's what I'm saying. And that really resonated with me a ton, and I really went full in on all the music. I met with these there was a studio in my neighborhood in London called Camden Records. Still best studio I've ever worked in my entire life. It's run by these Portuguese dudes. They work with Octavian. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a big UK rapper.
No, I'm unfamiliar.
And I got to work with them, and we really connected a ton, and I would be there every week, every weekend, and we made so much great art together, and they showed me so much as far as mixing and mastering and all these tips about how to work in like a real big studio and stuff. And yeah, just the combination of like having so much to write about and so much to need to release, and having the best facilities and the best people to help me bring that shit together and make these cohesive projects. Like it was really the music, and it was going to the gym every single day, sticking to my diet every single day. Like I don't care if people who are in a bad state, like real shit, like
Preach.
if you are feeling bad, bro, go to the gym. Like I don't give a fuck like how good you're feeling or how bad you're feeling any day. When you come out of the gym, you're gonna feel 10 to 15 times better, and that's just facts. Like that's just I don't know what it is, but it's just facts type
I
shit.
agree with you because you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, you're taking care
literally.
of your body.
Literally.
The happiness that you feel afterward, the pride that you feel in yourself, well, that's your body thanking you.
Real shit.
Because
Real
like
shit.
for real, especially in America, we the Western culture of that diet, it's horrible.
100%.
You know.
Yeah.
And like now, the only thing I drink now is water.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
really. And just making that switch, not like staying away from refined sugary foods. I just my head is just so much better.
Facts. No
My
soda. no
mental
shit.
clarity,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
No, but I fully agree with that.
100%. But yeah, like, yeah, that was big for me, the music, and then finding that group of kids who was like so dope, who brought me to all those shows. And like something like kind of jumping out like of this topic, but like something about like London that was so fucking sick that like you don't really find here I mean, you don't find it here in New Orleans. I'm not gonna lie. So
Go ahead.
that's why I'm moving to New York and shit too. But like every weekend, I'm talking about every fucking weekend, I'm going and I'm seeing a headliner DJ, a DJ who gets paid $300,000 a show, like a incredible, like, could headline Tomorrowland DJ every weekend. And then I take that and I wake up that next morning and I'm in my lab, locked in, full of so much inspiration, new ideas for songs, new switches, like new transitions, like new, like, out here, bro, like, you might catch Steve Aoki, like, one time a year, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, what, like, we go to the rabbit hole and watch bro who's, like, you know, it's just, like, it's cool, but it's, like, that's just not really gonna inspire you and shit and fill you. And it's, like, New York is the same way, bro. Great shows all the time type shit. And it's, like, that shit was so big for me in creation and being able to, like, bring that inspiration and literally the next morning wake up off that little haze and just, like, just like lock in and have so many ideas and such like an influx of inspiration type shit. So I'm really looking forward to being back in the city and having that shit again type shit.
Do you hope to be that influence for like the next generation?
100%, bro. 100%.
All right, walk me through that process. How are you gonna get there, Javi?
Shit, bro. Well, I mean, I'm staying on this sort of genre, like the sort of genre I play, bro. Like, a lot of people don't play it, like in
right, especially here.
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
here.
facts. Like melodic lo-fi house, like people hear that and they're like, "What?" Like, because a lot of people play like big room house or like minimalist house or like, feel me, different shit than what I play. More turn, like dancing club shit, and it's like I play turn shit, but like my favorite shit to play is just that healing shit. But it's like I want to stay consistent with this because it's like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna reach the level of being the best at what I do in this genre, and it's like the less competition the better, honestly. Like I'm not about to like switch and conform to someone else's style of house or EDM. Like
you're your own person, bro.
Literally. And
you're
like
trying to create your own influence.
OD, but like people will do that for a quick rise, like, oh, if I do this I could get booked at more shows at more, like I'm doing shout out Tune Station, this dope ass brand based out of New York. They're like a collective, like boiler room type vibe.
Y'all collaborate?
Yeah. So in September, I'm doing a show with them with shout out Love in the Ends too. This UK.
I need to have like a tally of all your shout outs, bro. I think I'm like on 12, bro. You're just well connected. It's as simple as that, bro. You should be proud. Honestly, you should be proud.
Thanks. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So. Yeah, I'm doing shit. I don't even. What was I talking about?
You were talking about the collab in New York. Blanking on the name.
Yeah.
You're shouting someone out.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a show with them. Oh yeah, facts. I'm doing a show with them in September. Yep. But they booked me for that. They have a couple different shows going on this summer. But they were like, "Yo, bro, like, this show is more of this genre. I don't know if this is really your genre." And I could be like, "Oh nah, bro, like." That's my genre. I could do that, and just like fake it and like go in and do the show and just have the show. But it's like, nah, like I'm gonna stay true to my music. And although like maybe I could get more spots, like they're locking me in the show that's gonna fit my vibe and like highlight what I do the most. And I want to continue to do that. Just like be in the right settings around the right audience who can appreciate that style of music I play type shit. You feel me? Because it's like at the end of the day, what I'm really trying to reach is like. Shout out Billy O'Connell. He talks about this shit called the 10,000 fans rule.
Yeah, actually, I think it was 1,000.
Oh, is it 1,000? Yeah, I think it's 1,000.
Yeah.
Facts. You're right. But yeah, like you get 1,000 people who will come to every show that's in their city, buy every piece of merch that drops, like everything, like just real fans. You get 1,000 of them.
Bro.
You live off that. You can live off that.
That's true.
And to think that like me being in the city and being true to my style and playing this shit and trying to touch people's souls with this shit, I'm not going to be able to gather 1,000 people. Like, you're bugging, bro. Like, that's going to happen.
With like the almost 8 billion people in the world,
I'm saying,
I can definitely pull 1,000, bro.
Exactly.
With the dedication and the heart that I put into this,
100%.
I can get at least 1,000 people.
100%.
And that really put it into perspective for me.
Yeah.
It really just takes, like, let's say they all, like, $10 each person. That's $10K, bro. I'm
saying it's crazy. I'm even about to do like, it's even crazier, bro. Like my Shout out Rob. That's like my
Come on, bro.
That's my best friend. That's
Yeah.
really like this tat on my back is really Rob.
Yeah, let's
like,
get into these tasks, bro.
Yeah,
because
so-
you did pull up into the studio.
Yeah.
You are not wearing a shirt right now.
Yeah, no shirt.
You
I got this
gotta-
fresh tat on me and it ain't trying to irritate, infect that shit.
So
but-
it's a Doberman.
Yeah, so it's a Doberman. I'm a part of a collective of 3 people called ATN, which stands for At Their Neck, which is just the way in which we live and we do art and we do our shit. But we've known each other since high school, since before middle school, like end of middle school.
Y'all
type
go
shit.
here together? Or
Nah. One of them lives in France and one of them lives in New York City, and I'm moving in with him. And the
Okay,
dude
cool.
from France is moving over to New York with us once I'm out
Oh,
there
perfect.
too. But yeah, we known each other since we were like little boys, like 13 and shit. And we went to like the most our high school was trash, bro. Honestly, bro. Like it was one of them like. It wasn't like a cool, like fun public, like people got like them high school movies where it's like, oh, it's all like our shit was like horrible day private school. Like everybody's in math and STEM. Art is like the least supported thing out of anything. Like if you're not going to like an Ivy League, like all the teachers hate you and shit. And
Where did you grow up, man?
Bro, so I was born in Spain, but I left
Spanish
there when I
raised.
was like 3 years old, and then I grew up most of my life in New Haven, Connecticut. And when I ended middle school, or I was ending middle school, a bunch of kids. I went to like regular New Haven public schools all my life. It was fire. All my best friends are from there still. And then a couple kids from my public school applied to this private school called Hopkins, and oh shit, I don't know if I should. Whatever. And
Do I gotta bleep that in the edit?
No, you good. And they all applied and stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm finna apply too.
Yeah.
Like I want to go with my friends, and then none of them ended up getting in, but I got in. And then my parents was like, yo, this is such a good opportunity. Like, you should do that. I'm in middle school and stuff. I'm like, all right, word. Like, I guess it'll be cool. And little did I know, like, the school is just made up of, like, children of, like, dudes who work on Wall Street. And none of them are from New Haven. They're all from, like, Greenwich and, like, Westport. And they, like, drive down and they kind of, like, I don't know, like, don't really have, like, a real respect for the city and stuff, and kind of, like, look down on New Haven and, like, see it as, like, a dirty place or some shit. Like, that really was the vibe. And
I mean, like, why settle down there if that's
Bro,
the thought process?
because, like, it's hard as hell to get in that school, and I got in, like, off the skin of my teeth. Like, my sister didn't get in. And
Was
so
it like a lottery or what in
It was-
specific got you in?
I just, like, bro, I had to take this test. I did good on the test. I did like an interview process. The lady who interviewed me, I was trying to get in there so bad. I painted her a painting, bro, like on some crazy shit with like quotes on it and stuff and all this. And I gave her the painting, and then she was probably like, "Oh, damn, like this kid is mad.
I guess
like,
he wants it,
yeah,
bro.
yeah."
I do feel like you still have that same energy
I mean,
with dedication.
well, yeah, but that was for the wrong reasons. I was in 6th grade and shit. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to get in this school to be with my boys, and then they didn't get in.
They didn't even get in.
But then my parents was like, "Yo, look at like this is a good thing. Like, you,
Yeah,
could, you could go to Harvard."
But at the same time, like, you still want to be a kid too, bro.
Yeah,
Like, still get those
and that
those
sucked,
memories,
bro. Because like all my boys from that old school, they stayed over at that school that went until 8th grade, and then me for 2 years. Again, I was alone, bro. Like I wasn't cool with none of them kids from like Southport and Westport.
Because
and
they're all
that.
looking down at you, bro.
Literally, bro. Like from the they were all wearing Vineyard Vines and shit, little polos.
I
wearing
remember
like
all that.
I'm like wearing like regular like New Haven public school
I mean,
drip and stuff. And they're like, why is he just like da da da? Like just even based off what I was wearing, like people wouldn't even talk to me, bro. Like I was so socially isolated there. And it's like I would get to see my boys from over at my other school like every now and then, but like it's like, you know, when you're going to school every day, chilling, it's like the shit, you know what I'm saying? So that sucked, bro. And then in the end of 8th grade, start of 9th grade, that's when I met Diz, my boy Noah, and Rob. And that changed my whole experience until Diz got kind of expelled and Rob got expelled from that same school. You feel me?
Okay, so like,
then
how
I'm
does that
alone
happen,
again,
bro? So how does that happen? Can you get into this?
Yeah.
All right.
The one with Noah, I'm not even trying to talk about. It was like some like the school just had it out. Like I'm saying, they didn't support it. Like they didn't support the artistic shit what we were doing, and they were just kind of. We didn't get the best grades either. Noah got really good grades though, which is crazy. But yeah, for Noah's thing, it was just some complicated thing where the school had accused him of some bullshit, and his parents were just like, nah, like we're out of here. Like we're not.
And y'all are just in middle school too, right?
At this point, we were in like, Noah left in 10th grade.
Okay, so high
grade.
school now.
Yeah, and Rob left in his junior year, but I was a sophomore because we're a year below Rob. Mm-hmm. And Rob, this is the most like horrible story, bro, because like the school, the way it's set up is like you have to have a certain requirements of math to graduate, right?
Okay.
And me and Rob were both in like a decelerated like math path because like the schools we had went to before didn't have this high level of math that these other kids are doing and shit. So it was like, if you don't pass this class, then you're going to have to leave the school because you're not going to be able to graduate. Mm-hmm. But if you cheat on tests in this class, then you're also going to have to leave the school. So it's like, either way, bro, it's like, what am I going to do? And we weren't getting the math and stuff. We didn't understand it. And so like Rob, like I guess had like cheated on a test or something. And this teacher came into the class, like when he was there in front of all his other classmates and stuff, and was like, you got to come with me. And then took him to this like room and then made him like retake this test they had like accused him of like cheating on or something. And then he took the test. I mean, he tried to take it. He couldn't do it. You feel me? And then they were like, okay, bet you cheated. Like, you're done. You're gone. Like, you could either leave or we'll expel you type shit. And they tried to fuck him over so bad, dude. And he left that school, transferred to a public school in Fairfield where he's from.
Yeah.
And got straight A's, got in all the extracurriculars, like grinded. And then that man got into NYU School of Fashion, bro. And he's like into fashion and shit. And he just like was literally like, look, y'all tried it. But
like out of spite.
Yeah, like, literally. But mind you, for me, bro, like those were my people. Like finally, like after having the shittiest 2 years, like I had a group of like people who were from where, like Noah's from New Haven too.
Yeah.
Rob is really from Bridgeport, which is like similar to New Haven, but it's like a little of a different area. And
you got people to connect to, bottom line,
yeah.
bro.
And those were my people, and both of them left. So it's like I go from, it's like I had a group, no group. Had a group, and then no group again, you feel me? And it's like I kind of hung around with some people at that school, but I didn't really connect with nobody there, bro. Like, and yeah. And then we made it out of high school, and it was lit because like we were not into that shit at all. And like when the second Rob got into NYU, like we were always in the city with him, always going out with him, doing shit with him. And like Rob being like older than us kind of showed us the way in a lot of stuff because he's really into art too. And like we would see the way he produced his clothing and like dropped his first lines and like the belief he had, him creating his websites, doing interviews, like just expanding his networks and like showing us this other side of life with college and stuff at a time when we were still in high school and all that. And like Rob's really the reason like we were able to do what we did and release the amount of music we did and like stay as consistent as we were and like see the other side of things, you feel me? Because he showed us like what it could be, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, good for you, bro.
Yeah. But those are my people for sure, and I can't wait. Like we've been waiting for this move like that I'm doing in June. Like we've been waiting for this like since we were 13, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
We were like, oh fuck this, we about to be in the city.
So those childhood dreams are gonna
literally.
Wow, they're
the
gonna
crib
come
is
true.
gonna be just knitting machines and synths, bro, and drum pads, bro. That's it, bro.
So, Loki, talk about the collab. I want to hear about this collab that you got going on. I want you to like get into detail about it. Where do you see it going in the next 5 years? You know, and just go ahead.
You talking about as far as like my group, like ATM? And all that?
Exactly. Yeah. That's Rob and
and Noah.
Noah, correct.
Yeah. So we're moving. So my boy Rob recently got employed at Sotheby's, which is like great because like Rob's been in fashion for a really long time, but it's like he's always been trying to get into high fashion. Like he wants his brand to be like considered the same as like a Louis Vuitton, Maison Margiela, whatever. And like when you're kind of on the outskirts of that, everyone is always gonna kind of consider your shit to be like streetwear. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of like is to a point because everyone's kind of working off the same silhouettes, and it's like you could do the dopest design, but you're not really like designing the clothes itself. You know what I'm saying? You're more like putting patterns on things and like heat pressing stuff.
Do you play a big role in that as well, in the pressing of clothes and the designing?
Nah, that's all.
That's
Rob.
all them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Rob's. I've done a couple things with him, but like that's mainly all Rob type.
You
thing.
throwing ideas at all or anything?
Not for his line. For some of my merch we've done and stuff, and some of like the ATN crew stuff we've done, we do that together. But everything Robinson Brown, like that's all out of his mind from his thoughts. But yeah, what's sick is like he's working at this place Sotheby's now, where it's like they're like a huge auction house, pretty much. Like if you're like trying to sell like a Rolex or like an Audemars Piguet, or if you're trying to sell like the jacket that like John Lennon died in or some shit like that, like they're the ones who sell that shit, you know? So it's like he's around these people who are in the high fashion world finally, and it's like we're bridging that gap to where like the other big thing is he got into Parsons, which is fire. And he's gonna get really into like design and like the actual like creation of clothing and the shaping of clothing and stuff. And so he's all locked in on that mission. He got Sotheby's by day, Parson night classes. He was one of the only 17 kids accepted, you know what I'm saying? And he's locked in on that. And then me, on the other side, I have my independent A&R company. I'm managing an artist right now. And I also have my personal musical career and my DJing. And I'm also moving to New York City because, like, New York is the mecca of music in terms of, like, I mean, LA too, but, like, all the labels are out there. Like, all the labels I want to work under are out there. And, like, I'm really hoping that, like...
Ideally who? Which one?
I would love to work under United Masters. I admire their CEO, Steve Stout, so much. Like, he went from being Biggie's producer to managing Nas to then being the CEO of United Masters, which is such a sick company because it's a non-traditional label in that, like...
Speak on that. What do you think you could have to offer?
Well,
if they're listening right now...
Yeah.
Not like if they're listening right now, what would you say to them?
Yeah, for sure. I love everything about United Masters. Like, you know, like anybody can join United Masters. You know what I'm saying? It's not like an exclusive thing. Like they have partner deals with bigger artists and stuff, but like even then they're not signing these artists into like these fucked up deals where they like give them a sum of money and then like make them pay it back with criminal interest and all that. Yeah, they're not doing that. They're like helping them with promotion. They're helping them with brand partnerships. Like they're just helping to shape these artists' careers and stuff. And the head of A&R, Juju McLean, he's doing some really dope work with Afrobeat in Lagos, Nigeria, and like
Nigeria, wow.
Yeah, that's like their big thing right now. Like they're putting all their funds into that because they feel
industries around us, bro.
Yeah,
everywhere.
They feel like Afrobeat is the next pop, and it really is, bro. Like in the O2 Arena in London, like huge arena, like Burna Boy sold that shit out mad times, bro. Like that's like Taylor Swift level, you know what I'm saying? Because Afrobeat is really at that level, and they're recognizing this, and they're trying to develop stars out there and bring them onto United Masters and stuff. And I love what they're doing with like trying to have a more international reach, and I feel like that really works into what I'm doing. Like all my independent A&R work is based on electronic dance music, and most of what I'm doing is based in Europe, you know, and in London. And I really want to, like, I feel like they have a lot of A&Rs, but I feel like I could bring a lot of perspective on like that European electronic dance scene and bring them like my newsletter. It goes out to a bunch of different contacts, some of which at United Masters, some at Ultra Music, some at smaller labels, this one 5DB in London. But my newsletter every week, or on a bi-weekly period, I'm highlighting like a new unsigned artist with tons of potential who could really bring so much and like just needs that like one boost up to like push that rock over the hill, you feel me? And, like, I feel like if I worked at United, I could keep bringing them with so many of these. And that's really why I have all these people on the contact list, too. And it's like, I'm not really making money off this. Like, this is for the benefit of the artists and for the benefit of the industry professionals who are seeing this and can bring these artists on and, like, win off of developing them as well. You know, it's a win-win for both sides. But for me, I just hope that these industry folks can see the value that I'm bringing them with these newsletters, and like the genuine like great artists that I'm bringing to their attention and stuff. And after a certain amount of time of seeing consistency with like the great artists I'm bringing them, want me to be a part of their team and stuff, because like
as a scout, like as a talent scout.
Yeah, like an A&R, you feel me? Like that's kind of like, I feel like DJing and A&R are very like, they work well together. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go on record, like any DJ's record box, he has like 10,000 songs downloaded on there, some of which he found on like some weird SoundCloud profile, or he found on some like YouTube deep dive, or blah, blah, blah. But it's like you start to look through these songs and you're like, who's that? Like who's target demographic? Like who's blah, blah, blah. And then you start to look up there, who's Sometimes Ja? And then it's like, oh, this dude isn't signed? Like, oh, but he's only done 2 shows? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's not like I'm like going out my way to like find these artists. It's like I'm creating these sets, I'm doing these shows all the time, I'm doing my music, implementing others' music, and in doing that I'm like, oh, who's this? And it's like to have the ability to be able to elevate the voices of those people who I'm spinning and whose music I love, like that would be the dream, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, it's not even like I have to step out of my world to do that. Like it's very much a part of what I'm doing in DJing and stuff. So I love that part of A&R, and I would love to do it at a more professional level under a label or something like that. So yeah, but for now, like, I'm doing it independent, and, like, I'm going to see how far I can take it independent, too, because, like, as I was talking with Billy, one of my mentors, Billy O'Connell, he was like, bro, like, who knows, you might not even want to work for a label at a certain point. I have a Patreon where people can access the database. So, like, if you subscribe, you'll get the newsletter on a bi-weekly period, but you get that newsletter, and that's it, and then it's on to the next one, you know? But if you subscribe to the On Pulse Repertoire's Patreon, you're going to get access to every single newsletter ever released. So, like, if you're in the industry and you want, like, a portfolio of, like, all these great unsigned artists who pay $5 a month, and you can see everything in one spot, you know what I'm saying? So, like we were saying about the 1,000 true fans, like, shit, bro. Like, imagine I get 100 people to sign up.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of bread coming in, you know? Like, imagine I get, like, 500 people to sign it, like, you know what I'm saying? And it goes on. So it's like, maybe I'll just do this on an independent level and like not even really want to work with other people, and just like balance between my independent A&R company and my music endeavors, you know? And I feel like it's great to really build something up, because like to like Loyola people and like music industry folks, people studying music and music industry in college, like, I'm not gonna lie, bro, like, college is cool, but like it's more about like the connections you create and what you learn. Like if you get out of college thinking like, yo, I studied legal issues in music, now bro at like Spotify is gonna hire me, like, no, like they don't care, you know what I'm saying? Like you really have to be involved in what you're trying to do, like, and show them that you're qualified to do this, you know what I'm saying? Like even straight out of college. So I'm trying to build that up a lot, and be able to come to them with like, yo, like, look at this, like I called all this out. And like a lot of these artists I'm showing and stuff, like I'm confident that like within the next months they might blow up and they might get signed and stuff. But like even being able to just like keep these tabs on all of them and stuff, and being able to show them later on like, yo, I sent this to y'all back in April and all this da. So yeah, I'm continuing with that. But yeah, also full steam with the music. It's my last couple of months out here in New Orleans, so like I'm really trying to get as many shows in as possible. I have a lot of shit booked up. I'm doing French Quarter Fest tomorrow. Wow. I have the show with y'all Sunday. Show with Big Stars Vintage 26th. I'm doing a party the 27th. We got another party coming up May 4th.
He's on it.
I'm doing an event with Swamp Rags on the 20th. But yeah, I'm just trying to do as much as possible before I leave my mark out here. And yeah.
I'm going to backtrack on something that you mentioned earlier with the newsletters. You know, to the younger audiences and the younger bands and the younger artists, because that's probably the main demographic, those artists that really want to break through and that want to learn from the older guys. How important are newsletters, and who exactly do they want to reach to kind of get to that next level in terms of networking and contacts?
You talking about from like the artist perspective or from like an A&R's perspective?
Artists.
Well, like, I feel like if I'm an artist and I'm like jacking myself in my own newsletter and being like, yo, like, check me out, da, da, da. It doesn't carry as much weight if like an independent A&R or another A&R is like looks at you and puts you in their newsletter. You feel me? So it's like,
how did you get to that point of being an A&R, an independent A&R?
Right. Bro, honestly, it's really just like you have to have a good contact list. Like you have to just meet people. And like music industry, people say it's all about who you know, and like that's
Yeah.
facts. Like that's a fact.
I mean,
And
do you feel like these young artists can be doing that for each other? Just claim to be an A&R and then hype up their boys?
yeah, I mean, you could if you have the right mailing list. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're sending it to like all the Loyola kids, like it's gonna just stay in the Loyola kids. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? But if
Yeah.
like you're like how I am, and like you have the head of sync at Ultra, and you have the head of sync at United Masters, and you
Yeah.
have like these different folks in prominent positions and stuff, then it comes across their desk, and they could actually do something to change this person's
Yeah.
life. You know what I'm saying? If they connect with that music, or they believe in it, or what have you. Like even the people working in sync, like if they just want to put your song in one sync thing, like that could change your life. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's what I say to these artists too, and how I kind of build a rapport with them. I'm like, yo, like I love your art, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like charging you any money or anything. I just want to do this because I support you, and I want to elevate your voice. And it's like, and by letting me do this, like you could land in sync, you could land a deal,
Right.
like you could get, even I have venue managers in there, you could get booked for a show in New York, like all this shit. So it's like,
Then you gain the respect of the artist.
yeah, facts. And also it's good because like a lot of conversations I had at South by and stuff with different folks working in the industry, they were like, make sure you do have a little bit of a connection, because like at the end of the day, like these folks who you're sending this email out to, they could just see that and just be like, all right, bet, thank you, I'm on my way now. You know what I'm saying? But if you've built up more of a relationship there with the artist, then hopefully the artist would be like, yo, like, didn't y'all get me through Javi? Like, yo, bring him, you know, and like kind of vouch for you in that level. And I have a really good relationship built with all the artists I've done it so far with. Even CJ, the kid I did the first newsletter on,
Yeah.
he's ascended so quickly, and I've been able to see his whole ascent. But I actually was at a show with him in New York City this past summer at the Brooklyn Monarch, Shlomo and Sarah Kin, and he was just like vibing in the crowd, and
Yeah.
I just connected with him and stuff. And yeah, he's a really dope dude, and being able to see his success and how high he's gone, like it's really dope to see, and like he's so inspirational to me. I love that kid, and everything he's doing in music, it's so sick. But yeah, that's the goal. Like keep finding these great artists and keep building a great relationship with these great artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So for a musician, do you think their music or their network is more important?
That's interesting. I feel like they're both hella important, but like if the music isn't good, then the network doesn't really matter at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like begin with the music, master that, like have a great body of work, like really be proud of what you're doing and really believe in your music. Don't just be making what other people make, like make something that's for you, that like is your stuff, you know what I'm saying? And really master your own sound. And then once you've reached that point, then focus on the network. And
Right.
and that is a big step. And like you can do that by going to Bonnaroo, going to like South by, going to like all these different meetups, festivals, join Grammy U, like meet the members of the Recording Academy, like do all these things. Every chance you have to get your foot in the door in the music industry, like do that, because even just adding that one guy from that one label can make your mailing list so much greater, your network so much greater. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Yeah.
Backing track on what you said about Afro-Cuban music.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you at the time, you know, because like, have you ever experimented with those kinds of rhythms? You know, what's the furthest you've gone with your experimentations in your music?
Yeah. For me personally, I don't really like sing or rap on anything like that, but my artist Drip, shout out Drip, he is getting into Afrobeat a lot, especially with his new project we're putting out soon. So I produce a lot for him, and I've been producing a lot of Afrobeat style stuff for him. I'll kind of like listen to a lot of Thames and a lot of stuff SARS produces and stuff, and try to base my beats off of that. But yeah, for him, I actually have been producing a lot of Afrobeat recently. But for me personally, I'm always gonna lean into that house and that melodic house,
Right.
lo-fi house, like
That's
that
just-
more
that's your
tranquil.
voice.
That's me. Yeah.
I
I
love
love that so much. Yeah, and I love to, with my personal music, like one of the reasons I love Fred again, and he's such a huge inspiration for me, is like Fred again talks about like in his production process, like one of the ways he's most able to be inspired and sort of run with a beat is like starting off of like a vocal sample. Like if you listen to my last album, you'll hear speeches from Skepta, from X, from all the people who have had a really deep impact on me. Like Skepta I love so much because this man was killing the game in rap for years on years on years. And then he just said, you know what, I'm going to make house music now and I'm going to be a DJ. And mad people were like, what are you talking about? Like,
right.
You're a rapper. Like, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And he did that. And he's doing that at a high level now. He did the closing show at Ibiza last summer. Like, and he's, in addition to doing it, he's vouching for electronic music. And he's trying to, like, bring these people on. And if you listen to my song, Feel Like They Can't, I sample Skepta's speech where he's like...
Pull it up right now. Let's listen to this.
Yeah.
And I want you to kind of speak on that influence as it's playing throughout, man.
Bet.
Young G's, yeah, think that they can't listen to house, innit? Like,
I was listening to this today,
yeah,
actually.
like, what's that? Like, but now
Thought it was KSI.
This is it's like Skep. Like, this is the reference point. Boom. Like, Mas Tiempo, who's that? What, Skep and Jam? Yeah, I like that. Cool. That's like a whole wave of people, like, that might just try and listen to it, you know what I mean? Because you can't deny house music, like,
Facts.
you know what I mean? Doesn't matter what style of music
Yeah,
you
just
like,
loops.
that,
You can't deny house music. Yeah.
like that loop. If you like music, you like house. You can't deny house music, like.
There it is. Yeah. I was listening. I was like, wow, that's really interesting. How often do you listen to that speech,
loop.
man?
Shit, I love that speech. That's on
You like
on Beats
music,
when
you
he
like
did that. I
house.
listen to Skepta talk all the time. Just like recently, he's been in the media a lot, like vouching for house and EDM and really like elevating the genre because like I said, like a lot of people like only listen to rap and they consider it corny to listen to EDM or like they won't do it, like they won't step out of their lane. And it's like if you just go to a rave or just like let yourself be free and let yourself be open, you're not gonna hate this music. Like there's a reason every single person in Europe lives for this.
I feel
shit.
like I feel like EDM is really making a bounce back. Like
100%.
Y2K raves, I feel like
Yeah.
it's really coming back.
100%.
Even like Y2K fashion.
Facts.
Did you hear about the OMFG rave? That one of the Loyola kids just put it on here.
Is it like Riot in them?
Yeah, it was Riot.
Yeah,
Riot
yeah,
and-
facts.
yeah.
Facts.
You hear about that? Did you
I heard
pop out of
about
that?
I didn't go to that. I think I had a show like that same day. Actually.
Yeah.
But I heard about that from this girl in my class. She was telling me about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, there's these freshmen and they're doing this techno rave or something." And all
Yeah.
that. And I was like,
How did that
"Fucking
make-
right?
yeah,
that
how did
shit
that
is
make you
fire,
feel?
bro. That shit made me happy as fuck, bro. Like I'm like the last person to ever be like to like crabs in a bucket mentality, like oh no, he can't do it because I need to do it, da da da.
Right.
Like I love that. Like I wish everyone would make electronic music out here, at least try it. And like
If everyone made electronic music, how do you feel like you would stand out?
I
What
feel
would be
like-
different about you?
I feel like I would stand out because like I love hard techno and I love techno and I love that more turnt house stuff, but like that's not really me. Like my stuff is all about just like creating this space of like tranquility and this space of closure and this space of healing. And it's like not a lot
Yeah.
of people do that.
These
If
are-
everyone did that, then I might have a problem. You know what I'm saying? But like that would be beautiful though.
cooked,
Like
bro.
everyone would just be outside just like feeling great and like loved and shit. And yeah, I don't know. That was really awesome to hear though. Like I love to hear that these younger kids at Loyola are really pushing that electronic music, and like I will be at their next show 100%.
Hell yeah.
Shout out them.
Hell yeah, bro. I love seeing everyone on the scene just really connecting now, like
Facts.
going against each other.
Facts.
Cause like low key, the music scene definitely is very competitive.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like while everyone understands that it's competitive, we don't need to hate each other, you know?
Oh, dude. And I feel like EDM is different too than rap.
It's
like
true.
that's why I love it so
Different
much.
culture.
Like all my time in rap, like it was always like, nah, he can't because I need. Oh, nah,
Yeah,
that, he's with
exactly.
that producer. Like fuck that. I need
can,
that producer.
I can absolutely
like,
100%.
and that's really like the
understand that.
vibe. And like even on the higher levels, like that's the vibe. Like even going back, like it's always rap beef. You don't hear about no EDM beefs. Like between who? Like
Yeah.
what? You know what I'm
I want to
saying?
ask you, how do you see the future of EDM evolving in the digital age, man? Because technology is going to absolutely advance.
Yeah.
How do you think the music is going to advance with it?
Damn, that's interesting. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. But like, yeah, definitely a lot of like blends of styles will be coming along. A lot of fusion. A lot of people experimenting with different sounds and hopefully creating new subgenres within EDM.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Facts. But I'm really excited to just see like how it's even been just like spreading in the United States. Like Fred again, like 4 years ago, no one would even know who he is in all of the United States of America. But like right now, like everyone knows who Fred again is. You know, like he has a song with Lil Yachty. Like that's beautiful, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like everybody knows who he is, and like that's so big. Like that, like he headlined Coachella with Fortet and Skrillex.
Crazy.
Like that's crazy.
That is
like,
crazy.
He headlined that shit. Like that just shows you how far EDM has come.
I know you were
what I'm
talking about
saying?
like Skrillex being corny and cringy. Like a lot of people feel that way. Could you ever?
I think he's sick though. I think he's sick. I'm just saying.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you'd like ever collaborate
No.
with him.
Oh, I'd love to. I would love to. I think he's amazing. I'll just say that because like that's like the typical thing like people back in the day would be like that's like the only artist people would know from out here, and they would be like, oh, like you're putting on that script like that's their only reference point, you know what I'm saying? And like maybe like I'm not the biggest fan of like the stuff he was doing back in the day with like hella dubstep and all that, but like I love the stuff he's doing now with Fred again and like all this crazy UKG shit he's doing. And like yeah, no, Skrillex is such a versatile artist who's been at the helm of the game for so long and has the respect of every big in the EDM world. Like I would love to meet him. I would love to share a conversation. I would love to be in the lab with him, watch his work process. But nah, I respect that man so much. I don't have a bad thing to say about him.
What do you feel like he can learn from you?
Skrillex? Shoot.
What a strange question. What a strange topic.
Yeah, I don't know. He could probably learn. I don't know. He could probably learn that.
Learn how to
Pain-
shout out people. Learn how to shout out people.
Shut up, people. He could probably learn about like pain for pain. Like that's my whole thing. That's my whole message, and that's what I feel like makes me and my music unique. Is like, yeah, like my music is like the most personal shit ever. Like I hold that shit so close. Like when I was telling you that dude came in the stew when I was rapping and stuff, like that makes me like angry, bro, because like I'm not in there like oh yeah, like let me take a fucking whatever and hit the party and da da da. Like I'm rapping about extremely close to the chest, like very personal, very like stuff that I don't say to anyone besides me and my audience and my fans, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I love to just show like what's inside of me to my people and to my fans, and like maybe that's what I could show another artist, just to like be vulnerable and be open and really show that side of yourself that you don't show to anyone else, that like when you're sitting in bed at night and like looking at the ceiling, like you're thinking and you're living, like really giving people that, because so many people feel like all them times I told you about in my life in high school and middle school. But when I was in middle school, them 2 years, when I didn't have nobody, my mom moved to Denmark for a year, bro. I didn't even have a mom, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Like,
So was it just straight up you, or like you had like a
I had
father,
my dad,
like your dad?
but he worked like late ass hours, so I was in the library at that bum ass school
Bro.
until like 10 p.m. most days, bro. Like, bro, like
What?
all them people who are alone, like that me, I'm not unique at all. Like there's so many kids like that, like throughout the world, bro. Like forget about the US, forget about the East Coast, forget about like the world, bro. And like to think for any of those kids in the world that my music, they could put that shit on play, and the only thing I want them to feel is that they're not alone in the way they're feeling. That I'll do this music shit to the day I die for that kid, because that kid was me. You know what I'm saying? And that shit means so much to me, and it's so important. And I'll never veer away from that with my music. My music is always going to be the most personal, most real stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to help those people.
I love hearing from artists like you, bro. I mean,
Appreciate it.
want to just make it personal and for the audience. I mean, it's just the most down to earth people like I've ever met, and
Thanks.
you know, I feel like that's kind of what I hope to achieve with the show. You know, reaching out to people, giving them a platform. You know, but I wanted to ask you, what do you think the biggest misconception people have about underground DJs?
Shit, that we like drunk and high all the time, bro. Because like, to be honest, bro, like you have to be so on point, like with your setup and stuff. Like if you like, even I have like I'll be doing shows and like the bar will give me free drinks or whatever, and it's like you have like 3-4 drinks, and it's like you don't understand how many moving parts there are like when you're DJing and how many things you need to keep track of and stuff. Like you have to be on point, you know what I'm saying? And like these DJs are hard working people like who bust their ass to do this music stuff, and it's like most DJs might have like a drink or two, but like they're locked in when they're on there, you know what I'm saying? And like that's me too, and it's like this shit is really a serious job, and like people need to put some respect on like the professionality of this shit and the hours people put in, like where they're not like, sometimes it's not like I'm like partying it, like I'm like locked in, you feel me? Like it might be 6 hours show and I'm like everyone's drinking and partying around me, but I'm like working, you know what I'm saying? And I love to do it, and I love to give these people that vibe and give them that music, but it's like I'm serious about this shit and I'm working, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, and yeah, I have a bunch of new shit coming out soon though that I'm really excited to show people, and I kind of want to wait till I make this move to New York to show it, because I feel like that's going to be a whole transformation for me to be out there and be in that stage of life that, you know, I've been looking forward to for so long, you know what I'm saying?
Can you speak on that just maybe a little bit, not too much? I don't want to give too much away, but go ahead.
A lot of it is stuff from Spain, where I'm from. Yeah. In terms of like my last album was the first time I worked around like vocal samples and speeches and stuff, and since then I've been fascinated with that. And I love where I'm from in Spain, and I love like Spanish culture and like bulerías and flamenco. And a lot of my next releases are going to be stuff that's really influenced by my country and where I'm from, and like a combination of electronic music with like traditional Spanish music, and it's going to be incredible. Shout out Bayuca. He does that a lot. And I think that's the shit. Thetangana also does that, but he's more like a pop like rapper, but he does that blend of like the new age with the old school, and that's something I'm really into. And also my phone, shout out phones.
Yo, get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
My phone, bro, got voice memos on it like everyone's phone. And it's like, I have, like, my phone has serious issues with, like, data storage and stuff, because I'll never delete a voice memo in my life. Like, I have voice memos from when I was, like, a little boy until, like, from my whole life. You know what I'm saying? When
I fly on Spirit, you know, Wi-Fi is not free. I'm not going to pay for the Wi-Fi. What I do with that time, I go through voice memos during that time, and I delete them, bro. When I fly back to Miami, that's what I'm doing, bro.
Shit. Yeah.
Bro, because I need that storage.
Oh, dude. But, yeah, like, a lot of what I'm doing recently is going through those old voice notes, and, like, mainly my boy ATN, my boys Rob and Diz, like, I found the most beautiful just talks we had, and people interviewing them, or different moments that I've captured, or different times we're in the club and we're just talking and and taking those moments and giving them a whole new life through the music and the electronic music. And like, some of my boys don't know, like Rob, he's in fashion, he'll never rap a day of his life, but like this next upcoming stuff I got, a lot of it is going to say featuring Robinson Brown, because I have his voice and his sentiments and his thoughts turned into music and speech. And also something really dope I'm doing, shout out Diz, because Diz is doing a film right now that he had this video camera all summer everywhere he went, and everyone was like, yo, could this kid put this goddamn camera away, because he'd be like in the club with the video camera, in the bar, in the bro,
I love it when people bring cameras everywhere,
but
bro.
it was like like he would have it all the time, and it was like this old little like kind of crappy one or whatever. But this man is over in France now. He's doing a year abroad, like how I did a year abroad in England. And he has that SD card, and he exported all the videos. And he's really big into poetry, like big into poetry. And it's like a film where his poetry is overlaid over all these like images of just like us, like living life, and like all these beautiful moments. And not only us, like videos of sunsets and videos of like animals interact.
Just the small things of life.
Literally, bro. And it's so beautiful. And the combination with the poetry and something really dope I'm doing with him. I'm scoring that film for him. So that's something I'm working on a lot right now.
Cool.
And it's just been really fun to do that and like put these beautiful like ethereal sort of like synth chords and combine it with like field recordings of like leaves and like birds and water and shit. And like it's been great. Like that's my first time like scoring a film and stuff. And yo, anybody at Loyola who's in the film program or anybody in general who needs a film scored, hit me up, because like I'm trying to do that so much more. Like Leon Vinehall is maybe my biggest inspiration in music, and that's the tattoo I got right here.
Yeah, let's speak on the tats, because you definitely got a few.
Yeah,
we did speak on the Doberman.
Yeah, so this like bird thing right here, that's like Leon Vinehall has a project titled Black Dove.
Yeah.
And when I was living in London, I saw a flyer on the street for the show for the release of Black Dove. And the show was in Phonica Records, which is the most legendary record store in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I love that place so much.
Fire.
But Phonica Records only sells electronic music. Like, it's all records that are all electronic music.
That's really cool.
It's
They got a
so
set demographic.
Yeah, and
that's really cool.
It's big, and like when Peggy Goo is in London, she goes there. When all the big DJs, Skrillex, they go there type thing. Like, it's like a very like high regarded place.
Yeah.
And Leon did his album release like sort of party like event thing. It was really just a single. It was Black Dove on one side and Rosebud on the other. And I went, bro, and it was raining so bad, bro, like, and the place filled up quick, so like I couldn't even get in. I was just standing in the rain and hearing the music on the outside, but the music was so good, bro. I was like, hell no, I'm not leaving. I'm waiting to get in. And I stood there getting rained on. And when I got in, I went straight to the front, and I was on top of Leon and his decks, and he was like, pause. But
glad you caught it, bro.
And he was just, I was just seeing him work and literally pulling vinyls off the wall, you know what I'm saying? Because it's in a record store and stuff. And he played so much of his original stuff. And he played that song Black Dove. And when Black Dove played in that store, and I felt that, like, that's, if you listen to Leon Vinehall, like, you will understand sort of this style of music that I spin at my sets. Like, that is what I love. That is what I live for. Like, I love Leon Vinehall so much, and he's such a great inspiration for me. And I love that style. It's a very specific style. But I didn't really even know that style existed until I saw him that day. And this kind of reminds me of that switch. And, like, I had been getting into the world of electronic music out there and stuff, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is for me. Like, this is the music that I've wanted to make my whole life, but I never knew, you know? And since that day, I haven't stopped chasing that sound and seeking that out at every show I can and trying to be a part of that in every single way. So that's kind of a marker of that. I got this tiger. The tiger was a big influence on me because I love Salvador Dali. He's my favorite painter in the world. And this is from one of his paintings called Dream Caused by the Flight of a Bee and a Pomegranate. It's a long title. But that,
and it's just a tiger with that long title?
Yeah, well, it's a tiger, and the tiger is kind of over this lady who's kind of like laying down, and there's a tiger, and there's guns, and there's all these like violent things, and it's kind of about like, and she's sleeping, and it's like about like all like the negative things that can kind of try and find their way into your life and stuff. And Dreams Caused by Fear, that title is inspired by that piece. And like this kind of is like a marker. Dreams Caused by Fear was my first full album I ever put out. And so this is kind of like a marker of that and surrealism and Dali and like that first project I put out. And I just love this tattoo. Shout out Jack Howard, best tattoo artist in London by far, with a lot of difference. And then this one right here.
Yeah.
That one on my side is from my grandma in Spain. The place I was born, the place I went every summer, like that's formed me as a person, is her house and her farm in Spain, in Santiago de Compostela. And that's a rose. Her name is Rosa. And
that's my mom's name.
Oh, for real? That's
Yeah.
crazy. And she has a rose garden in her farm, and that's a rose from her rose garden, and the numbers around it are the coordinates of that place, and that place is just like the most special place to me in the world. And then the Doberman I just
Gonna
got.
dox your grandma, bro.
For real. No one put that in Google Maps. And then the Doberman, I'm about to get 3. This is just the beginning.
Just for your boys?
Yeah, I'm low on bread right now, but but yeah, so I'm about to get one on the right and one in the middle. But that's ATN, that's Rob, that's Noah, that's Javi, and that's been the group that like has helped me through everything, has saved my life 1,000 times, and is the reason I do this music shit, and have supported me every step of the way. So I had to get something for them. But yeah,
Which Doberman does that one represent? Is that you, Rob, or Noah?
that one's Rob.
Yeah. Well, so why is that one Rob in specific?
I just kind of decided that it was gonna be. I know the center one's gonna be me because that's just it. Gotta be me.
It gotta be you,
though. But yeah, just like I kind of looked. So it's based off like a real photo of a Doberman, and I have like a couple different ones. I'm always like scouring I do a ton of stuff on like Photoshop, and like
Right.
I'm big into graphic design, and I'm always scouring the internet for like dope images and stuff.
Bro,
and I've been
jack
really
of all
into
trades,
Doberman.
man. That's amazing.
For real.
What don't you do, bro?
Shit, lose. But yeah, like this Doberman kind of just like had like a similar energy to Rob, and I don't know, it just yelled Rob to me. So
That
that's
lose
Rob.
got me, bro. That lose got me. That was iconic, bro. I want to ask you, how do you deal with the
Yeah.
pressure of performing live in front of people? If you even feel
Shoot,
pressure at all
no,
at this
bro.
point.
I used to way more, bro. Like way more. I'd be like having like stomach problems and shit before shows, bro. It's bad.
I get that.
But now, bro, I'm more so used to it. But I do like this one coming up in September. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm kind of nervous for that shit, bro.
Okay.
My first show in the city, in front of a big crowd, and like. But it's going to be great because, like, I'm confident in what I do, and I know the work I put in, and I know the time I spend, like, not only on the music and the production side of things, but when I put together a set, it's not like when I'm doing the set for y'all this Sunday, it's not like I'm just like, oh, yeah, I got these playlists, I got these songs,
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. Nah, like, some DJs do that, and respect to them because I could never, bro. Like, me, personally, when I'm preparing a set, like, I'm preparing a space and time and sound, and it needs to hit people in a certain way, and it needs to go from this point A to this point B and raise BPMs in this way and hit
Cool,
these songs and create this mood. So it's like, for me, every time it's so thought out, it's so calculated that when I hit the stage, like I know I did all the work already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of just executing on the ideas I've already rehearsed and thought out 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? And shout out my neighbors because they hate me because they call the cops all the time because I'm
Bro,
constantly doing them
they don't
sets.
deserve a shout out, bro, if they're doing all that. Hell no. Hell no, bro. Neighbors are the worst.
Yeah,
I
no,
remember
some of them old though, so I got y'all old folks and y'all gotta do resting and all that. So shout out y'all.
put them in a nursing home, bro. No, like, and back in Miami when I was 16, 15, 16, really grinding it out with my first bands.
Yeah.
I would, of course, use my backyard as a practice.
Yeah.
Bro, the cops pulled up to the gate, like, on numerous occasions.
Yeah, and do they come in daytime sometimes? Like,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit's crazy to me because, bro, shout out my Puerto Rican neighbors in New Haven, bro. They play music so loud at every time of the day, even at nighttime
Yeah.
and daytime. And my mom's is like, yo, I'm trying to study, and the house is literally vibrating off reggaeton music right now. And so she would call the cops, and the cops would be like, yo, bro, like, if it's not 10 p.m., we can't do anything. So I know that as a fact. Like,
Yeah,
you
so then
can't
that's
make a noise
ridiculous.
complaint until 10 p.m. in the United States of America. And these cops keep pulling up on me. Like, shout out NOPD because y'all be chilling. Like, y'all are cool. But, like, they pull up, and I'm like, bro, like, it's not 10. And they're like, I know it's not 10, but, like, he called us. Like, I don't know what.
So then what can they even do?
They just stand there, like, awkwardly. And then they're just like, bro, like, I don't want to have to keep coming back. And I'm like, well, you can't do anything. And they're like, I know. But, like, the dude is complaining. And I'm like, all right,
and they go
bro.
talk to the dude then.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
let him know,
and
like, what
then,
the law
and
is.
he's like,
man.
oh, I'll go talk to. But it's like, I want to be comfortable in my backyard, do whatever
Right?
I want to do, and it's like I'm always just like sitting out there with a bottle of water and like like not trying to do nothing crazy because I'm like, who knows who's gonna walk in here? You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, so it's like not it. You know what I'm saying? Like I have like a weird residential area right now, because yeah, like the cops have come to my house probably like 12 times this year. Like,
That's insane.
Easily.
That is actually crazy.
And it's always in the daytime because I'm respectful too. Like at 10 p.m. it's cut off. Like no more music unless it's in my room. And,
yeah.
like,
Do they
not too
expect you
loud.
just to not like work it out,
like
not to grind?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I try and tell them like this is my job, brother. It's not like I'm out here like sipping brews with the voice.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
trying to
saying?
create
Like,
problems or nothing. This is
I'm out
is
here
what
like
you do to
working,
live.
like doing my sets. But yeah, they've slowed down. I think they might have like blacklisted my house or something. They stopped coming.
So now you can really do illegal things.
Literally.
What do you think is the most important quality for a successful underground DJ to possess?
I would say
Can only be one, bro. Come on. Only one.
I would say high level. Well, I would say two things. I would say high level production, like, or not even high level production, just consistent production. Like, some people like make like or try to make one beat and then they like give up, or they make like two and they're like, okay, I'm good for 7 months now. Like, not like, bro, try and make a beat every day. Like, try to create as much as possible. Like, a lot of DJs I respect have talked about that. Like, it's just about like consistently releasing and consistently creating, and eventually you're going to be able to push that stone over, and like you're developing your skills as you go, you know what I'm saying? But like some DJs get too lost in like bro, also big separation I need to make for everyone in the world right now, like and some people know this but some people don't, and it's for y'all because like the disrespect is crazy.
Yeah,
like,
speak on it.
there's the DJs and there's DJs, okay? Like I will never play at a wedding or someone's bar mitzvah or a fucking like school event, like, bro, I mean if it's lit, you know what I'm saying, like if there's drinks out and stuff, but like
What if it's Skrillex's wedding, bro?
absolutely not. Because it's like, brother, like all these like like it's like I know some people, or some people know me or whatever, who it's like they're DJs and they consider themselves to be like on a higher playing field than me, but it's like, brother, you've never played an original track in your life. You've never even curated a set that's like something you're interested in. Like, you're in the club to satisfy others. And like I satisfy others, but in an indirect way. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm going to play this song for bro right here, and I know he's going to. Like, bro, you'll never catch me. Like, shout out Lil Baby, but like I'm not playing Lil Baby and like Cardi B and like all this stuff. Like, bro, that's not me. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of DJs like consider themselves to be DJs, but they never put in like that creative element. And it's like, y'all are DJs, but in a different way. And a lot of people group those together. And, like, that's why I'll be at functions and, like, shorties will come up to me and be like, yo, do you have doses and mimosas? And da-da-da. And
No,
like,
go away.
And I'm like,
Get out of here.
Nah, shout out my brothers. Like, when I'm on the East Coast, they don't even get close to the decks. They're like, yo, you need to leave, like, right now. But, like, out here, I don't got no one watching, feel me, the decks. So, like, they'll come up on me and they'll be like, can you play the bad? I'm like, yo, I have what's downloaded on this USB, and I will not be playing anything else, because like that's the worst. And like that's the issue, is like the other DJs will do that, you know, so they're used to that when they're like at like a bad club or like at a wedding or something, you know. But it's like, I'm not that type of DJ, and like people need to understand the difference. Like, the type of DJ I am and the type of DJ Fred again is, and like the type of DJ over Mono, Mal Grab, Katama, like, you would never tell them that. The same way you would never go up to Drake and tell him, yo, sing a Taylor Swift song.
For
like,
real, bro.
What are you talking about?
For every
Like,
request
we're
of another,
artists.
yeah.
Like, we're artist DJs, not DJs like that. Like, you know
Exactly,
what I'm saying? And I see that
exactly.
even like Loyola be trying to like, oh, this dude's this big DJ, y'all should, like, bro, he's not doing the DJ I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different lane, and like maybe you can make a lot of money doing that, but I would feel hollow as hell. Like, and respect to y'all, like, shout out to y'all for getting your bread, but like, for me, like, that's not my intention in music at all. Like, I'll never make music to like satisfy others. I never been on that. Like, my music always been sort of out the box. Like, I've always been doing like what's for me, and like that's how I've been able to love what I'm doing and like consistently do it all these years. You feel me?
Yeah. Okay, so that's been my favorite rant on this show by far, bro. Nah, I respect that though, cause like you respect what they got going on.
Yeah.
You don't really speak too much on that, but like you also you gotta identify that there's a difference, bro.
Oh, dude, because you know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen that.
I'm on the same
you've
page.
Seen that happen where people
No.
come up and ask for the song requests and stuff, and it's like, y'all are crazy.
Might as well be bumping at the boot or
dude,
something, bro.
Exactly, and it's like also like them other DJs, like they'll be like, thinking it's like, bro, you never did a real set before. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, maybe that's, I don't know. It's like, it's just a totally different world is what I'm trying to express
I
type
get you.
thing. Like, you could be the best in that, but you're still not better than the lowest in the other genre. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
crazy.
It's totally different. You know what I'm saying? And you couldn't do what he's doing. Like, the biggest DJ for, like, the biggest, like, torn rapper or whatever, he can't do what the smallest, like, underground alternative house DJ is doing. Like, they're not, it's a creativity
It's like
side that they're
KD.
not tapped into. You know what I'm saying?
It's like KD joining like the WNBA. You get, you get.
Literally.
No, bro, but yeah, for every. You like that
Yo,
one?
shout out WNBA though, no doubt. Shout out Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, bro, shout out Caitlin
Yeah,
Clark,
she's
bro.
tough. I fuck with her so
She
much.
is tough.
And she talks her shit too. I love her. No doubt.
Who was the 3-point contest with this year? Steph Curry and who else? It was
I don't even know.
Caitlin Clark, wasn't it?
Kyle Lowry.
No. Nah, I think it was Caitlin Clark and Steph Curry.
Wait,
They-
actually?
Yeah, they ran that 3-point contest this year.
Like in the All-Star game?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
that's hard.
Like
I
in
didn't
that
even
week.
know that. That's
Yo, and she
fire.
killed.
Really?
I actually thought she was
beat
gonna.
him, huh?
Yeah, no,
She lost?
Chef cooked. Chef cooked, bro. He did cook, but she was like on it.
Yeah.
She was on it. I wasn't surprised, to be honest, because like she's honestly like that. But
You be watching UFC, bro?
UFC, not as much as I want to.
Bro, I'm so geeked about UFC 300.
Bro, geek
so-
out about it right now, then, bro.
Bro,
Come
I
on.
love UFC. I feel like fighters are like so sick, bro. Like, it's just like, first of all, like, people need to understand, like, martial arts is like an art. Like, when I watch people fight, like, it's so beautiful. Like, not on the street and shit, because that's horrible. I've seen like bad things happen and like there's no rules. But like when it's like on like padded surface or whatever, and like no one's gonna die and stuff, like that shit is so dope, bro. And like the amount, just like the mentality, like if you watch the McGregor documentary or like you just like watch these like mini vlogs that UFC does on like Adesanya and all these different, the way in which they live their life and like the soul, like determination they have towards a goal, and like the way they lock themselves away in fight camp. Like I feel that I'll lock myself away in the studio in my pad and I'm hitting the gym every day too. So
Obviously.
but
Staying locked in always.
OD, but it's like I really respect that, like that determination and that like soul. It's like I'm not seeing anything but this goal, like this thing, and it's like I don't know. I'm so inspired by fighters. Like I love them so much, and I love the UFC so much.
It's
bro.
like
so sick.
they want to kill each other, but they got a mutual respect for the most part.
Yeah,
For the most
yeah,
part,
Facts.
unless you
Facts.
like Nate Diaz or something. Hell nah. What you think about the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight? How do you think that's going down?
That's horrible, bro. I feel bad for bro Can't Front because like. He's gonna get a bag like Mike Tyson. Like
Yeah.
also because I love Mike Tyson, bro. He's such a shout out Mike Tyson on my last cover, Most Ruthless Ever. I did some dope graphic design stuff with Mike Tyson and like. he
Yo, hold on.
inspired-
What?
Yeah.
You collab with Mike Tyson?
No.
Oh,
no.
bro. Come on, bro.
Redact that. I just used a bunch of images of Mike Tyson as my cover and
Got you.
the sample. We could play. You want to play the
That's
sample here
valid.
real quick?
I was actually, I was gonna make a joke earlier when we were talking about the DJs and DJs.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, for every one person that asks for a request for a different song, you just play Most Ruthless Ever like 3 times.
Literally. But yeah, like.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever.
Bro, I love
I'm the
this.
most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Next
He
to the
spits right
conqueror,
here.
No, I'm Alexander. He's no
Facts.
Alexander. I'm
Facts.
the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless.
Facts.
I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Yo, that's so tough.
You gotta walk out to the song.
Yeah. They gotta play this
I'm
and
saying.
they gotta play this in the arena, bro.
Oh my god, that's a check too. It changed my life. But yeah, bro, I love Tyson. I love that mentality. Just that like same thing, like just so determined and like so like he had nothing and he just changed his life by just working. You know what I'm saying? Like
I love Tyson in The Hangover.
yeah.
I love Mike Tyson in The Hangover,
He's
bro.
great in The Hangover.
With his tiger.
But nah, that whole Jake Paul thing, bro, I feel like it's sad, bro, because like he's such a legend and like I love that man so much for everything he's done in the sport. But like he's about to get hurt by this kid who's like in his prime physically. He's
and
like
he's a boxer.
60. He's like 65. Like, how old is he? Like 60 something or 50?
Yeah.
I don't even know. But
I
he's
think
an old
59.
guy. Yeah, he's an old guy, bro. And like he's probably getting paid a lot of money by Netflix. I'm not gonna lie. But like if he gets hurt in there, like is it even worth it? Like if he's some bad shit, I hope nothing happens to him. Bro.
First of all, it's got to be scripted. You get me?
Yeah,
it's
you
got to
think?
be. Low key, I think Mike Tyson takes a bag. I think he's gonna win.
Even if he just gets knocked out and doesn't really get hurt, like it'll tarnish his legacy in some sort of way.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't want to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Because
It's
there's
kinda
no way he
depressing.
gets into it.
And then it's like it's a
to destroy his
lose-lose for
legacy.
my man's Jake.
Jake
'Cause it's
Paul,
like,
exactly.
What is it like if he wins?
He
Everyone's
beat a
gonna be
60-year-old
like,
man.
why'd you just hurt that man who we all love, who's way too old to be fighting? And then if
Yeah.
he loses,
Bro,
they're
you
gonna be
got
like,
cooked.
you lost to an old dude. So it's like, I don't really get it.
It's just about the money, man.
Yeah, it's all
it's
about
just
the
about the money.
100%, 100%.
And don't get it twisted. Jake Paul's a fighter, bro. I've seen him box.
Yeah,
He actually got to that point where like I can actually respect his boxing.
yeah.
Can't
I'll take
speak-
him any day though. No cap.
Yeah.
2-piece with soda, easy, bro.
Really? No, I never really grew up with like the I like the Maverick thing. I don't the Jake Paul Logan Paul thing. I don't
Yeah.
know. I never really
Yeah,
got
me
into
neither.
that either, bro.
Can't front. Yeah, I just seen him with the UFC fighters
Yeah, I
and all
can't
that. He's
speak on
trying
that,
to just
yeah.
like mess up these UFC fighters' legacy, so it's whatever. I respect. He getting money. He doing his thing.
He is doing his thing,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
Oh, dude. No.
Alright. Okay, so, all right then. Let me ask you one last thing then.
I bet. Go ahead.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
One last message to the audience, to your fans.
Yeah.
What are you spitting at them? What life advice? What is your truth in life? Lay it all on the cards right here, bro.
Bet. So, for every person that felt like me, like how I was talking about, who felt like alone in their life, like that's what my music is for. And like my best interactions with fans that I've ever had in my life is always when someone's connected with me on that level and told me, yo, bro, like this helped me out of a bad time. And like this music helped. And like, that's the goal of my music. And if my music does that for you, reach out and tell me. And I want to talk to you in open lines of conversation with my audience and my fans because I love you motherfuckers. And like,
Yeah.
I do this shit for y'all. Like, I put my pain out there to everyone in the world for y'all, like for you specific people who need it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm going to continue to do with my next projects I'm dropping. And like, best believe, like when I'm locked in New York City in my crib where it's like just me, Robinson, like sewing machines, cloths, synthesizers, microphones, and nothing else. And we're just working every single day. Like all I'm going to be doing is putting out that music to you and having these real in life performances where I'm really touching and connecting with these people. And yeah, man, like that's what I want to continue to do. Like everyone in my family just like works to help people. Like my dad is a therapist. My mom is a social worker. My sister works in immigrant outreach and is just like the dopest person in the world. Shout out Edith. And I want to help people too. And through my music, like I'll never be that artist who's like the focus is on him and the chains and the cars and the blah, blah, like that's not me and that's never been me. And like you'll never see me shoot a video where someone's just running around recording me and I'm just the whole video. Like I think that shit is so lame, bro. Like shout out Over Mono because if you see their videos, all they have is their Dobermans, bro. They have 2 Dobermans. That's like a representation of them. And they'll just like record their Dobermans like running through like vast fields and like sunsets and like their Dobermans walking through water and stuff and just like beautiful. Like it's like for me, like when y'all see my first videos that are gonna come out, like none of it is gonna be centered around me. Like my videos are gonna be art that could like sit by itself. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have no audio and you would be like, wow, that's a beautiful piece of art. And like the tie with my music is gonna make it even greater. But like all of my art is just like individual pieces of art. Like none of it is about uplifting. Like all these like rappers with inflated egos and stuff. Like cool. Like I respect actually rappers a lot for having that amount of like belief and like ego in themselves and stuff. But like that's not me and like that's not what I'm trying to do ever. And like all I want to do is just help and like provide people with art and beautiful moments and closure and hope and happiness. And that's what I'm going to continue to do and continue to come out to my shows because I'm learning to master my sound more and more. And I'm getting greater and greater at creating these cohesive sets where whoever is there is in a place in time that's separated from all the rest of the world, and you're going to feel something you never felt before, and that's facts, and people can vouch for that. And yeah, just pay attention, because a lot of new shit is coming, and it's all going to be great. And I love you motherfuckers so much, and you're the reason this shit happens, so shout out to y'all.
Javi, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for meeting me here, man. This was
Yes,
an
sir.
absolutely great
Likewise,
interview.
bro.
You take it easy, man. Have
You
a great
too,
one.
bro.
Good night.
Appreciate you.